Hi, good morning. This is Terry. Today is May 27th, 2023, and I thought I would go ahead and share with you my part of the world, my garden, in May before summer hits. Right now, everything is, for the most part, has grown in, they're blooming. And if I figure if I don't do a garden tour now, summer's going to hit and I'm going to be missing out on this year's spring. So let's go ahead and get started with the nicer parts of the garden. And then I will be sharing with you the not so nice part that's going on right now. All right, so let's go like this so you can see the whole area. I just love it. This is one of my favorite spots right now. So David Austin Rose's Poet's Wife, David Austin Rose. It's been blooming a lot this spring, and below it is my English thyme. I love English thyme. If you would like to get it and you don't have experience with it, it's a mounding habit growing plant, so I love it. I can just place it around the edges of the garden bed and just let it do its thing, and it does really good. Lamb's ear as a ground cover, and then my guara. It's beautiful. I don't know what kind of rose these are. It was original to the house, and I wanted to take them out, but I couldn't do it, so I left, or I planted. I saved some and planted in various areas. They're not. They don't have a scent to them, which is unfortunate. But I keep them low to the ground so they act more like a ground cover. I call this my arbor bed because of that arbor back there. Daylilies. The daylilies were original to the house. I just transplanted some of them to this area, and I got the water irises in the background there. My garlic in the background there. More daylilies, cattle lilies. Now we're at the bridge garden bed, and it's looking beautiful. The irises, most of them are blooming, and some of them are already done blooming. It's so gorgeous right now, especially with the beautiful lighting, morning lighting. If you come farther down, I have my small desert like garden bed here. I love it. Look at all this sedum. It just loves its life over here. I just love it. Yeah, my Coreopsis died, but guess what? I have another one right here, a baby one that just came up. And this guy is going to be blooming very soon. So I am so excited that I didn't lose it completely. I could always divide from here. All right, if we come farther down, I have my hillside garden bed. Coreopsis, I have another variety here, is doing really good. And I planted roses last fall, I believe. So this was the bed that was edged by my rosemary, but they all died. And I kind of made a little fencing of the dead rosemary just to have some kind of border for right now, and see um, how it goes. I haven't thought about what border plants I'm going to try putting them in here. I'm thinking of some muley grass, but but might be some kind of grasses later on. Here's a spot. I think it's just so beautiful. The daylily, this was original to the house too. This was where most of the daylilies were planted by the former owner or owners. And I kept some of them here, and I just think they look so beautiful on the hill, just like this. All right, so we went from sun to shade for right now. This is the front garden. I haven't done much to it. I did have, um, I, I left a couple of hydrangeas, the mob head hydrangeas up front here just to see how they will do. All right, so this is my Dianella Clarity Blue. This is the plant that I thought died. So what I learned this spring, or this garden season, is that not to give up on plants. I do have a few that I'm going to show you that came back that I did not expect them to come back. This one is one of them. I also have my water irises here because this area does collect water on a regular basis, so it helps. All right, if I come down here, this is where I have my rosemary. One of them survived, one of them did not, but I pruned it up, both of them really nice, in my opinion, and have them, you know, just kind of serve as a little border interest here. I know it doesn't look too good, and look at how beautifully the sedum look. And I have my roses. These were original to the house. I believe this is winter holly that I got at a plant sale. Of course, the tag got washed. The writing got washed off, so I'm not able to see, but I'm pretty sure it was a winter holly. And more roses there. Oak leaf hydrangeas. I moved these guys like a few times, and I know that you're not supposed to move them, but they have done so well over here. I think this is going to be their forever spot. They are loving life here. All right, next to the oak leaf hydrangea is this winter holly as well. And this is the male version. So let me look. Oh, the writing here is still Seminole. I'm not sure what that says. Seminole. But anyway, this is the male. And I did not know that you need the male in order for the female to produce fruits. And what I showed you earlier was the female. All right, moving on, I have little lime hydrangeas, which I just pruned last week. So hopefully I'll get some blooms because I do know that they bloom on new wood. But because I just pruned them, hopefully I didn't do more damage, but I should get some blooms. All right, let me show you what this bed looks like overall. Next to it is my early wanderer Camellia. I'm so glad that it survived the winter and autumn. I believe it's autumn sangria, Azalea, jubilation gardenias. This one's the same thing. I just transplanted this over here. Banana shrub. It just listed it as banana shrub, and it bounced back. I thought it would die, but look at how beautiful it is. If you could only see what it used to look like, it was just dead sticks coming out. But so glad that it flushed back. Penstemon digitalis right there. It's going to be blooming soon. All right, you guys, if you do not know, the seeds or the fruits of this Penstemon digitalis smells like dog poop. I last year did not know. I kept coming around this area and I was like, did the neighbor's dog poop? And oh my gosh, I kept coming back you know, like every time I was working here, I was like, I keep smelling poop. It should have gone away by now if the dog poops. And I finally realized it was coming from this guy's seed. So I'm gonna have to, you know, get rid of the seeds before they form, so I don't have to smell it. This is my deciduous azalea. I think it's called Admiral Semmes azalea. I love this spot right here a lot. This is my Rose Creek abelia. I love, if you can get one, you should get one. It's so pretty, even with not having blooms right now. The tip, let's see, the tip are orangey color, and when the sun hits it the right way, it's so beautiful. As you see right now, you see that? All right, just gonna show you what this space looks like in the front. I love this area. So this is another reason not to give up on your plant. So I thought this was gone, and look what I saw. It's the coolest thing. So when I saw that, I went ahead and pruned everything up above and see what it will do. So I'm excited about that, to see how it's going to do. And behind it is my shade garden bed. So I don't have a lot of things planted here, mostly because there's a lot of water, drain pipes on the bottom, and I know kind of where it runs, like right there. So I try not to plant anything that will be, you know, like have aggressive roots. I don't want to damage that. So I'm still playing around with this area. So far the hostas are doing good. So I was thinking container planting. Or I might just have ground covers. You can see all that moss looking thing. It's doing its own thing. And I have a fern right there. That one's okay because it dies during the winter and it comes back during the spring. I have some hostas there. So this bed is definitely a work in progress, and I just added that I believe it's in Japanese holly. No, it's not Japanese. It's a Japanese painted fern. So I just moved this here, but it doesn't like the sun very much, so I might have to move it to a different spot. All right, so we're at this section of the garden bed, which I don't think I've named this garden bed yet, but basically I have to think about what I plant here really well because there are drainage pipes underneath and I don't want to, you know, have the plants interfere with the pipes. So I've been planting just perennials, like ones are gonna not anything heavy rooted, and they're gonna, you know, ones that are gonna come back the following year. So I have dahlias here, coreopsis, and some ground sedum there. I put in the pathway, walking pathway recently, just a pathway right there, and there's a pathway right there too. And gardenias, I had to cut the gardenias back, and you can see my camellias came back. Not came back, but did not die. April blush. I have another one over there. This is I have to get the tag for this, Japanese cedar. It looks like it's struggling. I'm not sure. It's probably not getting enough water over here. So I'll have to keep watching and figure what I should do. More gardenia, April blush Camellia, and rainbow Euphorbia. Another gardenia here that I pruned recently. So that's it. This is a small bed. I keep it nice and simple. And as part of this garden bed, I got this at a plant sale, and this is what it is. I might need to move it at some point. So moving down, I have my inflation garden bed. I call it that because when I really couldn't afford to buy more plants because it seems like a lot of plants were like high in prices, or they increased the prices at the time around 2020, 21 time frame. So most of the plants here are either been transplanted here, like this one, Chinese Snowball. I'm trying to prune it into a tree. Hopefully I didn't butcher it or mess it up. Yeah, so either transplanted, divided, bought at local plant sales, or they have been gifted. This one was a division. This is a Guara 2 that I transplanted there. And this is the yucca plant in the back here that was gifted. And I bought recently at a local plant sale these cone flowers, Echinacea. So I have it in a circle there, and that one was a transplant from a different location. That's the Echinacea too. So I'm looking forward to seeing that bloom. There's the other Echinacea, a transplant from a different location. That's the Echinacea too. So I'm looking forward to seeing that bloom. There's the other Echinacea. You remember last year sometime in the fall when I transplanted these and they came back, but what did not come back were the guara. It was a harsh winter, and I think they didn't do good. I probably didn't do a good job transplanting or dividing them as well. So it could be a combination of things. I noticed that guara are harder to transplant or divide. Like these guys, I was really worried that they weren't, or like it wasn't gonna do well. So I had to cut it really, I cut it back, give it some water, and it's doing pretty good. I'm glad that it survived or that it was able to come back because I wasn't sure because it was getting hot around, when I transplanted recently too. And more Echinacea. I have 3 of them there. There's one, another one. There's another one there. So I'm looking forward to seeing those. And I have my Rosemary that all came back, that are all here. And behind it is another guara that came back from seed. So excited about that one. All right, so as promised, I think it's time to show you all the uglies. So here we go, under this tree area. So we are going to remove this tree right here. I came to find out that it is a Bradford tree, and look what it's doing already. As you recall, in 2020 we had a huge limb come down while we were on vacation, so came home to a big giant limb that used to be right there, just fell. I made a hard decision to go ahead and have my husband cut it down in the fall. Yes, I'm very sad about it, but I think it's the best thing to do because it's not if it's going to fall, it's when it's going to fall. The crack there has gotten bigger and it's come down farther. So yes, I know this area looks really horrible. It's not very pleasing to the eye. I've been going back and forth whether to remove the fabric layer here. My husband likes it here, but every time it rains, it just moves the mulch all the way down there. So we lose mulch every single time it rains, and this is what it does. I want to remove it and then, still have mulch, but I also know that we might be having more weeds. So it's been doing good with the weed suppression, but at the same time, it does get shade over here with the house to my left here, and then also the tree. So I am not sure. So for the time being, I think I might just leave the fabric here and then remulch and do everything all nicely. But I think I'm going to wait until we take down the tree to figure out. So for a good part of this year, it's just gonna look this horrible. With that being said, I know that I'm going to have to remove these plants and plant them in other areas that they will do well in the shade. I'm not sure what to do with these guys because they're gonna get a lot of sun, and I really wanted them here to be small trees. This is another Viburnum, so I have to think about where I'm going to plant these for sure. I think it's more likely it's going to be going to the woodland garden area. Anyway, it's going to be bittersweet. I love the space right here, the nice shade that we get every day. All right, this is another ugly part of the garden. Hopefully we'll get this project finished soon. You can see all the weeds going up the steps there. Okay, it's always hard to film over here, but this is close to the house. I have my blackberry. This area is ugly because it's weedy. Otherwise, it's a pretty space. I'm hoping the camellias would take off, and then so I can form a little nice arch over here. This bed right here with the rosemary gone, it just looks kind of bare. And then also I used to have Dusty Miller here, so you can see the weeds are growing a lot more. I'll have to figure out what to plant here. But the bone of this bed is already here. I just need to put some more plant material in there. All right, part of the woodland garden. I have my Japanese magnolia in the background there. This space, it looks pretty good on its own, but I do come and weed maybe once or twice a year and then, prune up stuff. But you can see again, this year has been so weedy. So I need to come and do this at some point. Okay, so before we head to the woodland garden, let me show you this soft caress Mahonia. Again, this is one of the plants that I did not think it would make it, but it did, so I'm so happy. So again, the lesson I learned is not to give up on certain plants. And this is one of the plants, and I'm glad that I did not remove it. Next to it is this Japanese maple, and I don't know if it came with a tag, but it's loving life over here. So let's go to the woodland area. I just divided these Everillo carex, and they are doing well right now. And then the Japanese, the autumn ferns, autumn ferns are doing so good too. All the carex are doing good on both sides. They are going to take off. Japanese magnolia, other Japanese magnolias, and edgeworthy in the back there. This bed, it always has other stuff growing. I don't really do anything to this area except weed it sometimes. This is the rhododendrons. I don't do anything to these guys either. I don't know if I even fertilized it this year. Yeah, so this is mostly, it's just weeds, that's the problem. This is the other, I think my son, this is his playtime thing. So we butcher all of these. Anyway, this is the other Snowball Viburnum, and I have it here because I'm hoping that it'll take off. And then once it does, I'm going to have something to look at when it does bloom, and I could see it from the kitchen area. Another Japanese Magnolia over here. I used to have a pomegranate here, then it didn't do well. So I need to think about what I'm going to plant here. It's not a priority right now. Of course, I want to plant a fruit tree like peaches, but the deer will eat it for sure because I've tried a few times in a different spot and the deer got to it. This is my Loquat tree. Again, not to give up on plants, I thought it died, but then I saw this. So I might need to cut down the top of the tree. I don't know, because I think the top is dead. Let's see, you do that. Yeah, the top is dead. So I'm not sure what to do with that, but at least it's living. It might have to start over. But I am so glad that it's still alive. All right, you guys, so we're coming close to the end of the uglies. So I wanted this to be a desert garden bed, but it turned out it didn't do so good. Or I guess whatever the hard rocks, the lava rocks that I was using didn't match with this really well and didn't mirror this other side. So I decided to redo this, and right now I have not put any plants in yet. Just kind of help keep the weeds at bay. So I'm probably going to move this cacti or cactus to a different spot, and then go from there. I might, yeah, I'm gonna have to redo some of the plants here, put them in a different location. So anyway, doesn't look bad, just needs to, I need to clean up this area so badly. Let's go to this area, the last ugly spot. So it has so many weeds. I didn't think it was possible to have so many dandelions, but there were so many. But I am coming here to weed a little bit at a time, so hopefully I will get a hold of it. My goal is to, before these lemongrass plants take off and look beautiful, I'm going to have this area nice and clean for the most part. So the tour is coming to an end. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I know that my garden is a work in progress. Of course, if we all have it our way, and in my case, I would definitely have more plants in each bed. But, you know, I am on a budget, but I think I have done a good job for myself, considering that I started this whole project in the spring of 2019, and I have learned so much about gardening that, you know, I love sharing anything that I learn out with other gardeners. So until my next video, I hope you have a great weekend, and if you celebrate Memorial Day, have a great Memorial Day weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.